Okay, I've kind of cleared out all of my backstock of footage that I had to put up. So now it's time for another monthly series. Now being November, I decided to do more kind of lesser known, sort of more pulp sort of era comic book characters, therefore comic book movies. I'll start with The Shadow. This is one of those, while for the time, like the mid-90s, was very visually stunning, it kind of is kind of fuzzy in people's mind, which actually is kind of ironic because the Shadow's primary ability was to kind of cloud men's minds. You're probably thinking, okay, I don't recall this movie at all. If you recall Alec Baldwin in kind of like a bizarre looking face makeup and a purple trench coat with a red scarf wielding guns while he's taking on, I think it's Genghis Khan, whose hypnotic abilities make a whole hotel disappear, tries using an atomic weapon while there's a mystic knife which has to be controlled by one's telepathic abilities or hypnotic abilities. Drawing a blank? Okay, that is the Shadow in essentially, this is like a 1930s comic book character. In the movie, he goes from being like opium kingpin to having a Tibetan monk teach him how to use his abilities to cloud men's minds and to cloud men's judgment to his ability, because he knows the evil that lurks in the hearts of man. Okay. So then he becomes, like most people do when they have pseudo-mystical abilities, he becomes a playboy, but then fights crime in his spare time. Yes, he does sound a lot like some other superhero comic book character whose name currently escapes me. I think it's Airborne Rodent Man or something. And what essentially happens is Genghis Khan, it's weird saying Genghis Khan, is brought back to life, and he of course has a hypnotic ability as well. And therefore he challenges the Shadow. He also strikes an atomic device to destroy New York. But his ability is a lot more potent, a lot more strong, a lot more powerful. So this you have Alec Baldwin with a pseudo-psychic ability taking on Genghis Khan with a pseudo-psychic ability in kind of like a 1940s, 50s sort of time frame. It's a unique movie. It's interesting to see what you could do with, at that time, a fairly large budget and a character that almost nobody had heard of. It's a unique movie. It's definitely different. With movies like The Green Hornet coming out and stuff like that. You can tell that every now and then, as you're mining comic book movies, you do come across really unique and great properties. And The Shadow, of course, was supposed to become like a franchise, a line of toys, and a video game franchise as well. In case you haven't noticed, the toys never made anywhere because the movie, for the most part, kind of flopped. It's not a horrible movie. This isn't like Catwoman or anything. It's just not a very good movie. It's got unique visuals. The plot line is okay. But overall, it's just not, there's nothing that's really memorable about the movie. Which is kind of bizarre, because when the main character can cloud the minds of men, you get a movie that kind of leaves you at the end of it, there's really no clear picture of what it was. But it's not a horrible movie, it's just bizarre and disjunctive and doesn't really make a lot of sense. If you want to see if you want to see what 90s did to the comic book movie genre and why it kind of petered out, you can blame Batman and Robin, but movies like The Shadow, The Rocketeer, The Phantom, movies like that, movies I'll also be reviewing this month, also really didn't help it too much. So The Shadow, it's Alec Baldwin as an opium dealer turned playboy crime-fighting vigilante with the psychic ability to cloud the minds of men taking on Genghis Khan. And that's The Shadow.